Taking a look at the grid for the Brazilian Grand Prix, Stoffel Vandoorne led an all-McLaren front row lookout, with the working team's cars only separated by 0.05 of a second. With Lewis Hamilton taking second place on the grid tomorrow, Ferrari driver Sebastian Vettel had to make do with the second row, alongside his fellow German Pascal Wehrlein, who took fourth. Max Verstappen split both of the Mercedes, placing his Red Bull in fifth, with the world champion aarava all the way down in sixth, but only 2.5 tenths off the pace. Lining up on the fourth row is the second Ferrari and Red Bull of Rosberg and Ricciardo, with the two Force Indias of Perez and Hulkenberg rounding out the top 10. Can the McLaren pairing have a clean opening lap and continue their success from qualifying, or will we see an incredible fight between the top 8 tomorrow, who are all separated by 0.4 tenths of a second? Next up, it's the Brazilian Grand Prix. So after showing his pace in the first 2 races and now again here in qualifying, do you see similarities between Vandoorne and yourself? Because the media seems to be drawing a lot of comparisons with him to your season with McLaren last year.
Yeah, I can see the comparisons. He's shown great pace today, this weekend, getting pole position, and obviously winning the last race at COTA was crazy to me, and I think to all of us in the paddock, and he's done a fantastic job. It's very clear why McLaren wanted him in the seat, and looks like they've chosen wisely. Someone who can match the caliber of someone like Hamilton is obviously going to be heralded as quite quick. So yeah, I can see the comparisons. Obviously, I started off in the McLaren, was pretty quick. I think, you know, in some cases Vandoorne, I think he's doing an even better job. So yeah, I mean, all to him for doing a good job. And yeah, I mean, the media is always going to try and mix things up with stories here and there, you know, in between races.
Do you still think McLaren's dominance will continue for the entire season to come? Do you and Pascal, or maybe the other guys around you, have a chance of catching them this season?
Yeah, no, I do think that Pascal, myself, and other guys around us can eventually catch up. I don't think McLaren's going to be staying this competitive for the entire season, but you got to say, after the first 2 rounds and the pace they're showing in qualifying, it's going to be hard for anyone to outright beat them on pace of the car. You know, for quite a few races, I think maybe it's possible to get them if something goes wrong. You know, we saw Bahrain, obviously they looked bulletproof in qualifying, and then in the race they shot themselves in the foot. So I think we can definitely get them, and other people around us can get McLaren on any day of the week, you know, if they have a slip up or something goes wrong, or I don't know, some rain factors into it. But on pure pace, I think it's going to take a while, but eventually I think we'll get there. You know, we've brought some upgrades for this weekend. That should help us in the race, and you know, we'll continue to do that. Ferrari brought upgrades, and you've seen Red Bull started off strong and then fell behind a little bit straight away in the second race, so that could easily happen to McLaren at some point in the season.
Alright, cheers, good luck for the race.
Alright, cheers, thanks a lot. What's going on, guys? Aarava here. Welcome to my F1 MyDriver career mode. We're back with episode number 3 for season 2 here for the Brazilian Grand Prix. I need to say once again, I know I keep on saying it so it might get tiring, but just thank you guys so much for the support. It's been epic. Episode 2, the response was amazing with under like 24 hours. Awesome amount of response, and the comment section once again was absolutely amazing to read. Just so awesome to see that you guys are liking it so much and everything I'm trying to bring to this new career mode series. So thank you guys so much for that again, and now we're ready for episode number 3. You've seen the qualifying report, hopefully, and the post-quali interviews, and now we're ready for this 3-stop at Brazil. Option, and Prime, it looks like. We might switch that up, but anyway, let's get on to those 5 red lights. Overcast conditions, so maybe some rain is on the way, but we go to 5 red lights, and we are off. A lot of wheel spin straight away. Rosberg there on the right-hand side getting a brilliant start, and he's up ahead of us in 6th place, but we'll try and get it down the inside. Verstappen taking a wide line. We maybe try and look down the inside, but we're not going to think of it, because remember from last season we had that tangle with Raikkonen and we spun round, so we thought better of it. Going to squeeze out Rosberg as best we can, but no, Rosberg continues to fight with us. We're going side by side with him. We'll just about get him into the brake zone here, and we'll stick it up into 6th, or back up into 6th place, I should say, because we lost it at the start. And there you go, behind us also Rosberg loses another place to Daniel Ricciardo in the Red Bull. So now straight away towards lap 2 onto the back of Max Verstappen in the other Red Bull, and we should be able to get in. The Red Bull's looking not very strong here. at Brazil. Obviously, quite a power circuit, and we dive it down the inside of Max. Bit of a rear end getting a bit loose, and Verstappen doing well to defend from him. I swing back onto the apex, and now we're going to try and swoop around and see if we can get some slipstream here. Ricciardo will get in my slipstream, and Rosberg will get onto him, but we should be able to get him gaining really a lot of speed here. And the Mercedes down the back straight, and we do get him, hit the apex, ride the curb, squeeze him out on the outside, and we're up into 5th place. So at the moment, looks like we have the measure over the Red Bulls, and Pascal, my teammate, really doing the work at the moment. I think he's up there ahead of Vettel. So yeah, Vettel up ahead of us in 4th place. So Pascal in 3rd place at the moment, and look at that, the 2 McLarens going side by side, and the 2 McLarens not getting away from all of us like they did in USA. So it looks like the McLarens, although their qualifying pace was pretty damn good, looks like they're not really showing it here in the race so far. Maybe the temperatures have something to do with it. But now Vettel caught napping a little bit. We go down the inside of him, trying to make that move for 4th place, as Vettel's probably fighting for his season a little bit, as he's not been going too well right now for him, with 2 non-point scoring positions. But now we go down the inside, lock up quite badly on the right tyre, side by side with the German, but we're going to have to kind of give it up there. Vettel kind of takes that racing line, so we're going to have to settle down to 5th place, but a very awesome start, very fast start, and we're already cutting on to now lap 7. A lot of action, a lot of time to try and keep up with these guys, taking a few laps to get back up to Vettel, and now we're right behind him, and we'll try and see if we can make another move into this next right-hander where we just tried before, and I think he'll be caught napping once more. Yep, we tried again, exact same place, but this time, look at the speed we're taking into the corner. Really went nice and wide on the exit, really kind of basically closed off any space that he could have taken up to kind of go side by side with us, and now we're up into 4th place. And so we cut one lap later onto lap 8. We can see Verline trying to make a move on Van Dorn, as Hamilton's getting away a little bit, but Stoffel, obviously the rookie in Formula 1 right now, the 2 rookies battling right now, is Hamilton using all his experience to get away from 1st place, but these 2 rookies fighting right now, my teammate and Van Dorn. We're going to try and follow Verline through for 3rd place. We're going to try and squeeze Van Dorn off. We go side by side with the Belgian man. We go side by side. Looks like a beautiful battle at the moment. Tapping a little bit. We're still side by side. Can we get into the right hander? No! We've gone a little bit wide, a little bit deep into the grass section, and we're just about hanging on, but Vettel's now down my inside. You can't see him on my screen, but he's still there, side by side. There you go. We go a little bit wayward. We tap tyres there. We're still side by side with Sebastian Vettel. What a scrap this has been at the beginning of the race. Really getting our hands mucky right now, as he could probably say right now, really, with Sebastian and Van Dorn, and we try and hang around the outside, but again, Vettel just placing his car quite well, and the natural understeer of that corner, the kind of off-camber left-hander, really just pushes you wide a little bit, so I have to settle down for 5th place. So we tried to maybe get up into what was 3rd place, and we actually ended up going down to 5th, and the tyres are very, very worn, so it's time for a bit of a breather, time for a pit stop right now. So we're coming for another set of option tyres, so let's just calm down a little bit and settle back into this. That was quite a first opening 8 laps, you must say. A lot of scrapping straight away, and that might be a sign for the rest of the race. It looks like the Ferraris are very equally matched with us, the Mercedes, and it looks like at least Van Dorn is struggling to keep up to the pace of Hamilton. Hamilton also obviously not really in a scrap with Verline and the likes of me, so he's been getting some clean air and really just doing his own race. So it looks like the McLarens have a bit of an issue with maybe battling, and maybe they're like Red Bull in 2011 or 2013, you might say, where they need to get out in front and just get away from the pack, otherwise they will have issues trying to overtake in battle. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, we're out of the pits right now, lap 9, immediately up behind Sainz, who's on prime tyres from the start of the race. So he's going very, very slowly. I'm very eager to overtake him here, but he actually does really well to defend right now, so we're going to have to just stick behind him, and he's for position. You know, he's not being lapped or anything like that. He's for position. It's just the fact that he's on slower and worn tyres. So we go down the inside pretty easily here, and we'll get him for 9th place. So eventually, probably a little bit later than I wanted to, but it didn't hamper us too much, I don't think. So anyway, we're going to continue on. So we move to 3 laps later. We're bombing at Pascal Verline right now with some DRS as he's sparking away, and we get up into 2nd place right now into turn 1. We can see Hamilton only 2 seconds ahead of us, so he might still be in this fight. We might still be in the fight for the win, but we have more things to worry about right now, because we've got Pascal coming right back at us with some DRS right now down the back straight, and he's going to dive it down the inside. Looks like he'll get us cleanly down the inside. We're going to take a bit of an undercut line, more of an aggressive line on the left-hander, and we'll swoop round side by side just about with Pascal. We'll try our best. You can see we're getting very, very close to his gearbox there through the brake zone of that swooping right-hander up the hill, but we just can't get it, so we're going to have to hang back on Verline, but obviously in the same car, same machine, same tools, we're always going to be very, very close, but it's not over yet. We get a really good run off that corner, and we're going to maybe try and make a move. No, we think better of it. He locks up. I think we could have made a move like we did on Vettel, but at the same time, he is my teammate, so it's a little bit different. I'm a little bit less likely to make a diving move like I did on Sebastian on him, just because we want to make sure it's a clean move. But brilliant to be fine with Verline like this. Obviously, we had this last season with Jensen, but with Button last season, we sort of had a gentleman's agreement almost to not get in each other's way when we were trying to overtake each other. But now, here, this season, Verline, he's a rookie. He doesn't really have any chill, doesn't really care too much. He is all up for any sort of fight. So into turn 1, we go up in second place, but we go wide, and Verline comes right back round us into turn 2. Made a little bit of contact, so Toto might not be too happy with that, but it looks like Verline's completely up for this today, so we're going to have to really fight for it to get this place from him. So we try down the inside. He's going to brake very late there and hang around the outside. We make contact as we go through on the swooping left. It's all getting a little bit too close for comfort at the moment as we again try and look, getting oh so close through the right hand. You're seeing my car bob up and down right behind his gearbox as I'm getting so close through the corners, but I don't want to make any contact. And then through that right hand, didn't really make the most of it of my entry into the corner as I went a little bit wayward. But now right behind him, we'll now make the dive move down the left. It's worth it now, and we do squeeze him out, and we're up into second place. But oh boy, Jesus Christ, that was a hard fought second place right there, but it's probably not over. Anyway, we cut later on to lap 17. Van Dorn right behind us, so he's overtaken Verline actually, but thankfully we'll have a bit of a breather, so we come into the pits right now. So from lap 12 to lap 17, not too much actually happening, just able to keep Verline at bay, and then Van Dorn was able to overtake Pascal, so that sort of actually took the pressure off me, because it seems like the McLaren is not too great in dirty air. So Van Dorn was behind me the entire time, but just really couldn't get up to me with DRS, so he was right there. Maybe if we went one more lap, both of us, he could have got us that lap, or we both came into the pits respectively anyway. So Pascal continued on, I think that might be Vettel behind me and Van Dorn came into the pits as well, but that was basically the story of that stint after we made that move on Verline. And so we come out, and we're going to just push as hard as we can, try and immediately get the life out of these option tyres, really make the most of them, because the Mercedes, you know, we've seen from Kota, you know, the worn tyres are not where the pace is at. We really need to make the most of it on fresh tyres, and we immediately do so right on the middle of lap 18, go right down the inside of Max Verstappen in the Red Bull, who's been struggling all afternoon. The Red Bull's struggling all day long here at Brazil, so it really doesn't seem like their upgrades are working, or maybe they didn't bring enough upgrades to this race. But anyway, on towards lap 20, right behind Sebastian Vettel now, who somehow managed to jump all of us. So I think he may have done an undercut, and may have hit one lap earlier, and maybe that Ferrari we saw in the replay cameras in the pit lane was maybe Rosberg then, and so Vettel was now ahead of us, so that must have been Rosberg. Vettel making good use of the undercut then, so now we're going to try and have to re-overtake him basically, go down the inside, try and force him a little bit wide here, but he's having none of it, and he swoops round on the left-hander and stays in second place. So can we maybe have a look up the hill perhaps? We tried it before earlier on in the first stint in the Grand Prix, but it looks like he'll just have it. We try our best, really cut the apex fine there on the curbing, but no, it looks like Vettel will stay ahead, so we're going to have to wait until lap 21, going on to lap 22 right now, bombing at him once more with DRS, down to standard mix as we used a bit of rich mix to catch up to him, go down the inside, go side by side with Sebastian Vettel. Oh, it's beautiful. It is down through turn 2, still side by side. Wow, we are having some awesome racing. So much fun, I can tell you, so much fun. And we're still side by side, trying to squeeze him, trying to maybe force a little error as I'm trying to give him as little room as possible. And oh, look at that. Look at that. Vettel just about comes through in front of us. I just about spotted it, did a spike of brake, and just got enough room between my front wing and him to let him through there. But now we'll try it once more like we did in stint 1 down the inside of him. We'll go side by side once again like we did at the beginning of the Grand Prix. But we've got some brilliant traction around the outside, and we managed to actually make that work around the outside. We go down the inside, go really wide on the exit, squeeze him out, give him no room, and we're up into second place. But my word, I can tell you guys, it's probably been the most fun I've had in this game so far. The amount of battles and scraps we're having is so good, and the AI are immediately coming back at us, like literally like that. They just come back at us instantly as soon as we try and overtake them. It's bloody brilliant. And so Van Dorn right now has overtaken Sebastian Vettel and Verline, and now he's coming back at us. He wants his second place back that he lost at the beginning of the Grand Prix. He goes down the inside, and we have to give him the room here. We go a little bit wide, tapping tyres a little bit, you can feel it, and he just about grazes through there into turn 2, but we'll have the slipstream of him, so let's see if we can try and get him. We're going to maybe go up into Rich Mix. We think about it. Yes, we do. Late call there on the Rich Mix with DRS down the inside. Can we make this? I think we've broken quite late here, but no, Van Dorn tries his best to stick it around. I think we'll just about get him. Yes, we will. We'll just about squeeze him out like Sebastian Vettel did to us previously there in the Grand Prix. But now, on to lap 25 right now. Van Dorn will still come back at us. He's going to try around the outside. We'll stick to the inside, but we've locked up there. And we're going to go deep into the corner, touch a little bit into the grass, and Van Dorn will just go around the outside of us, millimeters in that, but we'll come back at him surely. He's in second place. We've got DRS. Vettel behind us has DRS. He moved to the left. I moved to the middle. This is not happening. We're going side by side, 3 wide into that corner, and Vettel will overtake both of us. He's mugged us both off, and he's up into second place. We'll make some contact with Van Dorn as he tries his best to squeeze me out, but we'll hang it around the outside, and we'll just get back up into third place. But Vettel, a little bit wayward there at the top of the hill, a little bit of a drifting move there by Vettel on the top of the hill, but what a move from him, from the German, getting 2 places in the span of 1 corner there. But we're right behind him now, so we'll try and re-overtake for that second place. We'll get a bit wayward, tap his side pod with our front left tyre, got a bit of a drift on there through the middle of the corner. FI has issued a collision with Vettel, but they've taken no action, thankfully for us, and that was a little bit, I know, a little bit dicey, you know, a little bit on the edge, but I think it was all okay in the end, because Vettel is still very much behind us. He hasn't lost too much time there, and pretty much actually he'll have a little bit of advantage here, because the Ferrari will really work well up the hill, and he's actually going to pit right now, so he would have had an advantage, but he's made an undercut pit stop, and now Wehrlein's going to go through into second place into turn 1, so Vettel has made the undercut pit stop again, and to be honest, we should have maybe thought about doing that as well, because in the second stint, it worked for him really well. He was like, you know, a couple of seconds ahead of us after the pit stop phases, and, you know, who's to say that won't work again? So I think we should have really tried that again. So this on our in-lap, we've re-overtaken Wehrlein. We're up into first place at the moment, as Hamilton is yet to make, has made his pit stop, I should say, but we're into the pit lane now, so we'll see if that undercut is going to work out for Vettel. I really think we might have just made a mistake here, and we should have maybe covered him off, basically, but I had no way of knowing he was coming into the pits, because I genuinely thought he was going to try and make a move up the hill. So we're onto the prime tyres. Everyone will be on the prime tyres pretty much, and it looks like, well, let's look for a red blur on the left, shall we? That's where Vettel will be coming through. Behind us in the pit lane, looks like Rosberg has jumped Van Dorn there in the pit. So Ferrari boys, known for their good pit stops, you know, in previous years in Formula 1, doing the job there against McLaren. There is Vettel, so no, looks like it hasn't worked. So that's brilliant for us. The undercut has not worked there for the German, and will stay out in what will be a net second place. So we cut later on to lap 28. We have got 8 laps left in this Grand Prix. It is not over yet, but so far we've had so much action. I need to catch my breath, really. And now Vettel comes back for another overtake on us. Down the inside through turn 1. We'll go side by side with Vettel. We'll leave him the room, actually. We'll cut back and try and get a more aggressive line. Better acceleration off turn 2. And that sort of worked for us, as we'll get DRS now. And we surely should be able to try and go down the inside cleanly through on him. If we brake late enough, we could just try and completely squeeze him out on the exit, and that's exactly what we do. That is what we want, and we're back up into second pretty easily enough. Now, 2 laps later, or 3 laps later, I should say, lap 31. We've got 5 laps left in this Grand Prix, or 4 laps as we come across the line, and Vettel is still hustling and harrying down the inside into turn 1. We go side by side this time through the entire complex. We got Wehrlein sniffing a little bit. Vettel pushes me a little bit wide then. Wehrlein gets the kind of inside line, and he's through into third. He'll have DRS and slipstream. Can we follow Wehrlein through here maybe and use him as a bit of a guide through on Vettel? They go side by side. We're right behind them, and oh so close, having to brake a little bit in the middle of that corner. But look at this, you could throw a bloody blanket over all our cars as we now try and follow Wehrlein literally through that corner and try and overtake Vettel through the outside, but it's not going to work. But now, again, like he's done before in the Grand Prix, he's been caught napping, and I just about get that place again, and now he's susceptible to Rosberg. So Vettel, you would think he would work on that. You know, that's happened the entire Grand Prix, but that's not my problem, so I'll take it. So we're back up into third place, right behind Pascal Wehrlein, who's at the moment in second, and you can see nowhere to be seen, Lewis Hamilton. He's completely bolted after us five really have been fighting, because Rosberg's been there. He just really hasn't got right in the scrap of it, but he's been there the entire time with Van Dorn, who's been struggling to get past all four of us there. Really surprising. A lot of lack of downforce maybe in some dirty air there for Van Dorn. But now, lap 33, we try and overtake Wehrlein down the inside. We've gone a little bit wide again, but we'll just about hang it through. And this time, I'm not Mr. Nice Guy, and I don't let Pascal through there into turn 2. And so now we can breathe a little bit, but on to lap 35. Second last lap of the Grand Prix. Vettel has now re-overtaken Pascal, and he's now coming back for this second place. So me and Vettel been fighting all race long. So he goes down the inside once more. Can we hang it around the outside? Yes, we do. And look at this. We've got Wehrlein and Rosberg going side by side in opposite kind of places. We've got a bit of a red and silver checkerboard here of Vettel, myself, Pascal, and then Rosberg there. Awesome scenes to see. Both teams battling it hard. You can see the Mercedes-Ferrari rivalry is still burning strong from last season. And in the midst of all that battling, we've got up into second place. Vettel now fighting with Rosberg there on lap 35. We've got 1 lap left to go. Hopefully we can just hang on, but it's not over yet. One final time, Sebastian Vettel is lurking here. The tyres are starting to go off. Vettel gets some slipstream and some DRS, and it looks like the same's happening behind us. And again, for the second time in a row, looks like we're going side by side, and we're doing a checkerboard once more, because you can see in the mirrors just about Wehrlein and Rosberg doing the same thing. Wehrlein trying to squeeze out Rosberg there. I'm going down the inside of Vettel. We'll get him before the hill this time, crucially, and we'll get up into second place. And hopefully this will be the final time, because we've got only half a lap left, and we are coming through the final corner. Lewis Hamilton has won the Grand Prix. He's had an easy win today, but he's come through for the win of the Brazilian Grand Prix, his first win of the season, and will come through for second place. Sebastian Vettel close behind. What a race, what a race. Although, I would say it was a good second place fought for. But if you were looking close enough, as we crossed the line, for whatever reason, we changed the third place. I do not know why this happened. I don't know if the FIA decided to award a late penalty for that move I made about halfway through the Grand Prix on Vettel, but we are in third place. We would have been in second. Unfortunately, though, the FIA decided to move us down to third, so a little bit gutting at the end, but wow, what a race. That guys, if you enjoy that race, smash that like button. I don't know what else deserves a like, because that was literally, I think, the greatest battles I've had ever on an F1 game. Ever. Those were insane. Race long. All 36 laps were so intense. I haven't enjoyed myself on a career mode race as much as I have then. And we did that flipping Monaco race like a few weeks ago in the Haas. But this was another level. This was another level. This was crazy. So guys, smash that like button. Awesome race. But unfortunately, it ends in a little bit of sorrow, because we can get moved down to third, and we'll have to talk to the FIA about that, see what we can do with Mercedes, maybe appeal that. We'll see how it goes. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below of that entire race and what you thought of it. Truly, I've never seen battling like that. That was crazy, especially the checkerboard thing we did at the end there. That was mental. Like, that was such a weird thing to see, that Wehrlein and Rosberg were right behind us in different places on the track, doing the same thing as me and Vettel were doing. Crazy stuff. Crazy, but there you go. Lewis Hamilton wins the Grand Prix. What a fantastic Grand Prix that was, though. So much fighting. And in the end, you can see the Manor gets to the point in the end. Awesome stuff to see Manor still scrapping away with the points there. Even though you might think some of us are upgrading and they might not be able to keep up. Still getting the points there for Manor team there in 10th place. But anyway, guys, if you've enjoyed that episode, smash that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're new around here, then do subscribe for weekly Formula 1 content. I'll leave it there. It's time for the post-race interviews. But I'll see you guys next time. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Great race out there today. It looked like you had a lot of fun out there, but can you actually tell us how you felt everything went today?
Yeah, no, it was a fun race out there. Really unfortunate, I think, at the end. I don't quite know why we were given third place at the end. We're going to have to talk to FIA about it and see what goes on with that. But talking about my actual race, really fun, really fun out there. Battling, likes of Sebastian, Stoffel, Pascal. Didn't think we were going to be battling people like Stoffel, really. I think we could have had, I think we knew going in we would have had the Ferraris, and the Red Bulls were really nowhere today. But I didn't think we would, get the one of the McLarens. Stoffel, for some reason, didn't have the pace he showed in qualifying, so that was really great for us. A lot of fun out there going side by side. quite a few times, and it got a little bit dicey with Pascal once or twice, so we're going to have to just, you know, debrief a little bit and make sure that we're on the same page. But it was all good fun and good fair racing out there.
McLaren seemed to be less dominant in the race in their qualifying pace. What do you make of that?
Yeah, they did, which is great, which is great to be honest for us, to see Stoffel struggling a little bit. I think Hamilton, we could have had him today, I think, to be honest. I think the pace was that different to qualifying, but because we were battling each other so much, you know, Hamilton had a very, very easy race out in first place. But in terms of their pace in qualifying compared to the race, I don't really know. Maybe the heavier fuel might have affected things. You know, it was overcast at the beginning of the race, so don't know if the McLarens have any sort of, you know, temperature issues with the heat up of their tyres at the beginning, but then it got sunnier, so I don't really know, to be honest. But obviously I'm not here to kind of look into that. I'm here to kind of just do my own thing, and it's great that they're falling behind a little bit in the race perhaps, and, you know, hoping, fingers crossed, that happens for the next race.
Do you see this season already as an uphill battle to defend your title? And are there any regrets about how you jumped ship from McLaren right now?
I don't see it as a major uphill battle. To be honest, I'm not really thinking about the title yet. I mean, I think we're only 3 rounds in. I think it would be silly to think about the championship right about now. But you know, it's going to be difficult. I chose to move here to Mercedes for a reason, to get a new challenge, and I don't have any regrets about moving from McLaren. You know, they're a great team. I respect them, and they're obviously still very, very fast. But I'd already really done everything there was to at my old team, so I'm happy here at Mercedes. Happy to be here, happy to be working with likes of Pascal and Toto Wolff, and yeah, it's going to be a struggle, but we'll get there.
And finally from me, what do you make of the whole Ferrari situation with Vettel?
I haven't read too much about it, to be honest. I've heard a few little things here and there through you know, in the paddock. I think today he's sort of proven it wrong. Obviously, we're going to look into what happened with the FIA. Well, I don't really have any answers right now. We're going to have to look at it in the debrief and maybe clarify why I was given some sort of penalty or something or other to come to 3rd place. But with a 2nd or 3rd for Sebastian, I think he's proved his critics wrong, if he had any. And I think it's, you know, very early to judge in a season. You know, two poor races. You know, we saw last season I had some poor races. Jensen had some poor races. Both of us in the McLaren last season, so I think the media are quite quick to judge, but honestly I haven't really read too much into it.
Okay, thanks for your time.
Alright, cheers, thanks a lot.